Good day. Today on GIMP, we're going to be rocking and rolling with some colorful text. It's a little complicated. Let's get it done. Okay, so we're going to be using, there's some text instructions for this if you'd like, but we're going to be using this instruction gimptutorials.net. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new canvas. So have GIMP open and File, New, and we're going to set this to 600 by 450. So 600, 450. Okay, there we go. Now, before we get started, I want to make sure that you have your layers menu. Okay, so your layers menu it's going to be here in your toolbox. Okay, see how we've got all these different things. You need to make sure then that you have, I'm just going to close some of these other ones here a second, these other tabs. You want to make sure that you have your layers menu. If you don't, okay, or if you don't even have any tabs like this, double click on one of your tools, okay, and then click on this little triangle here, configure this tab, and we want to go to add tab and then layers. It's critical. It's critical. You won't be able to do this lesson without having a layers menu, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our bucket, double click on it, and we're going to set it to, just keep it FG, color fill, and then make sure where it says affected area, select fill hole selection. So now, okay, so we're going to start out with a completely black background. Good. So now we're going to go and create a new layer. Okay, so go ahead, layer menu, right there. And we're going to click on this little thing right here. This is the create new layer. Okay, so we're going to call this then blue gradient. Okay, blue gradient. There we are. Click on OK. So now we've got two layers, a blue gradient and a black background. This is going to be pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and select a gradient. So let's click on our blend tool or gradient tool, double click on that. And then where it has here gradient, we're going to select, scroll down, and then I believe deep C. Okay? From there, we're going to click not exactly. It's going to be up and to the left from our middle. So let's just start our click there and go all the way down. So you see how mine is? Just like that, okay? There we go. What we're going to now do is we're going to duplicate this layer, okay? So we need to go back to our layers menu, okay, and make sure that the blue gradient layer is selected. So then we're going to click on our duplicate tool. This is the duplicate tool. Okay, so we should have three layers now. Blue gradient copy, blue gradient, and background. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use our flip tool. Flip tool, pretty easy, it's next to our text tool, right here. So click on that. Now, we're going to click once. So that's what it should look like. Okay, so we just flipped it horizontally. Okay? So from there, what we do is we're going to set this to, we're going to change the color. So we're going to go to Color, Colorize. Make sure that you're on the top layer, the blue gradient layer, the blue gradient copy layer. Okay? Color, Colorize, and we're going to set our hue to 293, our saturation to 100, and our lightness to 7. Let's make sure we've got that. 293, 100, 7. Okay? Click on OK. Okay? we're now going to set so this top layer, it's called the purple gradient layer. We're actually going to rename it. I'm going to click once, click a second, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to call that purple gradient. So we should have 3 layers. Make sure your purple gradient layer is selected. We're going to then go to mode, set that to addition. Make sure it's your purple gradient layer. Okay? And then we're going to set the what's called opacity. That means like how clear it is, to 30. So let's change that to 30. And we're going to do the same for our blue gradient layer. So click on that blue gradient layer. Let me make sure that you saw that. We're setting it to 30%. Okay? We're going to go to our blue gradient layer. Set that to 30%. Okay? So dude, this is looking cool already. I like that. Yeah, it's good stuff. So now we're going to go ahead and put some text in the middle of the screen. So let's go to our toolbox, select our text tool, and let's just put something in the middle here. And put something school appropriate, please. I'm going to change my font here a second. So when I double click on it, you can see here, I'm going to go with my favorite. It's going to be Garamond. I have a Garamond, man. There we go. Garamond bold. And then when we put it here, I'm just going to put Father Flem. I'm going to change the color to white. Really doesn't matter too much, but. And then I'm going to set the size, make it so it's, pretty big. Okay? Then what I can do is, if I want to move it, I just wait till you see how I've got this tool, I've got the 4 ways. That means I can move it. I'm going to try to just eyeball center. It's not critical that it's completely centered. Okay? So, from there, we're now going to, this is now, if you look on our layers menu, another layer. Interesting. It's called our text layer. Okay, I'm actually going to move that up to the top. Let's click here, this button here, move that to the top. And now what we're going to do is we have to do a right click. Okay. Now in this case, this is something, if your mouse isn't set up, we've got to talk, but we can figure that out. So right click and we do alpha to selection. See, we've got ants around our text now. That means that just our text is selected. Okay? So now we can actually delete that text layer. And now we've got just the selection. Okay? And now we're going to make a new layer. Let's go ahead here. Let's make sure it's on top. This one is going to be called text. Okay, there we go. Click on OK. So now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Text, which is blank right now, purple gradient, blue gradient, and just a black background. We're then going to go ahead to our blend tool. And with our gradient, we're going to go ahead here, click on it. And we're going to go with our good old friend, the rainbow. Okay? So from there, we'll click and drag. There we are. Then we're going to go back to our layers menu, make a new layer. We're going to call it text 2. We go to our paint bucket, double click on that. We're going to set it so it's white. Okay? So we'll go to our color picker, and there's an easier way to do this, but we're just going to set that to white. Then click on your selection. There we go. And we're going to make it one more. We're going to do here, okay? We're going to go ahead and create a black text layer. So we'll go back to your layers menu. One new layer, we'll call it text 3. Click on OK. And now pink bucket. You can click here to just get your black and white defaults. Click on that. There we go. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our layers menu, hide text 2 and text 3. To do that, just poke out the eyeballs. 1, 2. So we should be back to our rainbow text. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to and we're going to say select none. Select none. And now filters, blur, Gaussian blur, and we set that to 10. Okay? Oh, apologies. We need to make sure that we are on our correct layer. So make sure in your layers menu, make sure that you have your rainbow text selected. Okay? Filters, Gaussian blur, blur, Gaussian blur. Set that to 10. That should be all blurred up like that. And then go to, we're going to reveal our other situations, and we're going to go to our text 2 layer. So that was the one with just the white. Okay? Make sure your text 2 layer is selected. And we're going to do filters, blur, Gaussian blur. This time, instead of 10, we're going to set it to 5. Neat. And now finally, we go to our text layer 3. Set the mode to overlay. So mode, and then overlay. That's legit. So let me just look here, and that's about it. Okay, folks. So what you're going to be doing is this should be similar to your final sort of piece of work. You can see there that's a pretty neat effect. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's neat. Make sure then file save as. We'll call it color text hq.jpg. Make sure you're saving that to the go to your desktop. Then go to your folder. Click on save. Save. Export 100%. Now let's do file save as. Instead of LQ, and let's zoom in here a second. Color text, forgot my last name. There we are. Color text Fleming LQ.jpg. Okay? Save, export, set this to 30. Nice! Best of luck. Look forward to seeing these. This should be neat.